My personality is not like Kevin Garnett, and that doesn't work for me. And I gotta be true to myself and do things in my own way for it to be genuine.
Yeah, late night WEEI, part of the WEEI Sports Radio Network. It's KJ, second hour. Turn that upstairs. Dun, 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 dun. What? If you go into my record collection, where are you going to find an Out in the Tiles instrumental? Because
that's impressed, KJ.
Look, wow. I've got bottom drum tracks. Come see me, son.
Wow.
Hey, that's Jason Tatum talking about, look, I know people are trying to say things about his leadership, and he goes about it in a different way, but let's just face it. The Celtics are out on the tiles. Da-dum, da-dum, da-dum. Wow. All you got to give to me is some effort, C's. They lose tonight, 111-107, to the Magical Mystery Tour called the Steph Curry Tour. It seems like basketball is going to change. It almost feels like when Steph Curry comes to town, it's almost like, hey, he's retiring just because he broke this record. And what Steph Curry really has done to the NBA. I'll get into box scores and stuff like that. Plus, I have a special pre-holiday treat, and you will be able to preview my gift to Enes Kanter for Christmas called Enes and the 3-Minute Man. But what the Celtics have done have fallen apart in this era of Steph in the 3. 41% of all the Celtics shots have been three-pointers. 41%. 16th in the league in made threes. Celtics are down 10% from last season in made threes. And remember, Evan Fournier was here for what? Takeout? It's the category the Celtics have the biggest area of regression in is made three-pointers. Points per game are down 5% from last year. Opponents' rebounds are up 8%. You know what happens when you take long shots and you miss them? Back in high school basketball, you used to scream, outlet! That means someone's down a man. Someone's running backwards hard. 2-on-1. But here's what's funny when you think about it. Ask yourself, and you may know this answer, and it's going to shock you if you don't. Do you know who right now on the current active roster is the all-time three-point leader for the Celtics? You guessed it, Marcus Smart. And that might explain some of the problem. Marcus Smart has 712 going into tonight, 712 made threes. Tatum is at 677, tied with Dennis Schroeder going into tonight. Tatum is behind Tony Snell, Karl Anthony Towns, and Kelly Olynyk when it comes to threes. Marcus is behind Ben McLemore, P.J. Tucker, and Terry Rozier. Did I just say Terry Rozier? Think about that. Terry Rozier was here, 2-3 years? And he is behind, and he is ahead of Marcus Smart in made threes. Steph Curry has subconsciously ruined the Celtics. Watch this. Rozier, Avery Bradley, Gordon Hayward, Kelly Olynyk, Jay Crowder, Kyrie Irving, Isaiah Thomas, and Kemba, who is 30th all-time, were all here and have made more threes than anyone on the current Celtics roster. Maybe this needs to be put in one of those lockers. Hey, guys, you know what? You guys are not making your threes. It's not happening. In fact, here are the ones who were making them before you. It's bad. But this is what the league has become, and this is what's going on. And if you really want to get across to Marcus Smart, let him know that, hey, he's taken more attempts than Donovan Mitchell, Avery Bradley, P.J. Tucker, Terry Rozier, Ben McLemore, and they've made more threes than he has. It's just amazing how that math works. When you take a bunch of shots and you don't miss them, they still take that down. Like, you have a lot of attempts that you've missed. So, of course, this week the talk has been like, okay, do you move Dennis Schroeder, which is the talk this week. Last week the talk was like you could put together like a 6-person package plus a vacation package, some draft picks, meals, and not have to trade Tatum and Brown to get somebody to come here. And so now the latest is talk about Dennis Schroeder. And so some people are like, well, Schroeder, he's only $8 million, but again, that's a favorable contract for you right now, and you almost have to wonder, well, wait a minute, what do you get back in return? You can't get futures off of him. You can't say, well, hey, he's going to get somewhere between 15 and 25 next year, so maybe we can find. No, it doesn't work that way. You're not going to. Why you don't trade for someone who's only getting 8 right now? Nobody's getting 8 right now. That used to be Marcus Smart's number. 617-779-7937 or the text line 37937. It's KJ Late Night here on WEEI. So the talk of Idrunas Sabonis, am I saying his dad? I might be Sabonis. I can't get little Sabonis. How about we go with that? Well, it's going to have to include Robert Williams, and I would say, well, Sabonis is a much better scorer. Yes, he's an all-star, but I don't know if he solves one of the bigger problems, which is rebounding. Where stats are growing for the Celtics this year is actually block shots and defensive rebounds, and that's Robert Williams right there. So, again, I've said this many a times, is that, look, you cannot be so enamored thinking that free agents are just going to run to Boston and play for the Celtics. Like Sabonis might come because he's not necessarily part of the NBA culture that currently exists, and he thinks a little different. So maybe that's why you mention him as a player that you go get. But maybe he would work. Maybe that's the last hope of a really good free agent coming. But at the end of the day, you will get into situations where you would still be undersized trying to rebound the ball. 111, 107 tonight. Team is back under 500 and coming off of that road trip where they weren't looking very great. Let's see here. Tatum, 27 points, 3 for 10 from three-point land. Jaylen Brown, 4 for 7 from three-point land. And again, Jaylen Brown has missed half the games this year. So that's what's even tougher about this team is how do you really gauge how good or how bad are they? It looks very bad now, and understandably so why it does look bad. But with maybe your second best player out of the game for half of the season so far, it's just it's tough to gauge, and even for teams that trade, because at the start of the season it was like, okay, maybe it's Jaylen that gets moved, but you're not going to be moving a guy who's constantly touching their hamstring and hopping on a bike. People are going to be like, no, he's going to go right back. Thank God the Ben Simmons stuff quieted down. I think Ben Simmons coming back here, it's just like, okay, great. I already got a problem making shots. You're going to get someone who doesn't take shots too? Jeez, that's going to be bad. So Josh Richardson put in some work tonight, but 4 of 10 from 3. Like, why are you taking 10 threes? Peyton Pritchard, 3 for 5. I'm sorry, 0 for 2. I'm sorry. Josh Richardson was 4 of 10 overall and 4 for 7. So all of his shots made were threes. Okay, that's not the worst thing in the world. But again, like I said, the Golden State Warriors, if there's one team that they've damaged by the style of play that they've created, it's the Celtics. And I give Danny Ainge credit, which I did predict that he would go to Utah and end up working somewhat with the Jazz, and that's what he's done. Earlier this week it was announced that he built this team. This team was originally built to beat the Golden State Warriors. It would trudge to try and beat LeBron, but at the end of the day, it was built to beat the Golden State Warriors. And all those players that I just ratted off, they all could hit outside shots. I mean, it's even tough seeing Jay Crowder run around. You're like, gosh, Jay Crowder was just such that lunch bucket guy right there. All right, 617-779-7937 or the text line 37937. We got Mike on deck, but John, you're up at the plate. Go ahead. Thanks for calling WEEI.
You mentioned free agency, and no free agent, let me rephrase, no elite free agent is ever coming to this team.
Amen.
Period. End of sentence.
Amen.
The only way they're going to get an elite free agent to this team is if they relocate the team, because nobody can build a brand here. Period. They get the Al Horfords, the Xavier McDaniels, if you want to go way back when.
Yeah, we can keep doing that.
They draw, and they'll never get anything more than that. The only decent players they have are the ones they draft, and they're stuck here. And
Yeah.
a lot of them leave and leave the big money on the table because they want to go play on the super team. And nobody wants to come here. They caught lightning in a bottle the one year they did it with Garnett and Pierce and Allen, and they're not even close, and they're further away than they've ever been.
Yeah, it's a
Tatum
different
doesn't
player.
like Brown.
Yeah. Well,
Brown
I
doesn't like
don't know if
Smart.
I wouldn't say Tatum and Brown don't like each other. If anything, I think they're both kind of hedging their bets of really, and this is what I believe, is who can get to a super team quicker. And once that happens for one of them, the other one is going to be asking to be gone too.
I'm not a basketball guy, in full disclosure. I'm a hockey guy. I just the reason I can't stand the whole existence of the NBA is because it has nothing to do with the team aspect of the whole team. It's just what elite guy can I get to stir the drink, and it's too bad because it probably could be a lot more entertaining if maybe more than one or two guys was included, and they're never going to change that mindset, mainly because of this three-pointer. And to me, it ruined the NBA.
John, thanks for the call. Yeah, there are a lot of 6'2" and 5'11" guys believing that, remember the old commercial, if I could be like Mike, at least Mike was 6'6". There's a lot of 5'11" guys who are like, sometimes I think that Steph is me. No. I mean, here's what you have to recognize about Steph Curry that most people don't really understand. He is born to a journeyman, excellent three-point shooting former NBA player, Del Curry. And because of his cerebral knowledge, no one else is going to get that. Nobody else is going to get that, because if you're the superstar's kid, they expect you to be the superstar. But if you're like a pretty good role player and you're that kid, because you saw Gary Payton II out there running around tonight, and all he does is dunk. His dad didn't dunk. But there's something about growing up in that environment where you know what it's like to have your father be traded or to move from city to city. I think Steph is born in Cleveland. I remember him and Seth when Steph was 10. I was working in Charlotte, and Seth was 6. So I remember them as kids because, I played the cool music at the time. And so they were like, oh my God, you work at Parody. So, but that's a different household than anybody else who's going to attempt to come in the NBA and do what Steph has done. Totally different. Totally different. And I think a lot of people miss that. And when I say people, I'm talking about players in the NBA. Again, if you were at a party right now somewhere with a bunch of your Celtics friends and say, hey, who right now on the active roster for the Celtics has made the most three-pointers in the league right now? That's on the roster. If you said Marcus Smart, you say, that is the reason the team sucks right now. All those other guys that have come through the door and have gone out, all have made more threes than Marcus. So if I'm Marcus, I'm thinking, well, hell, why am I not taking the threes? I mean, nobody else is still here. Somebody's got to take them. At least Jalen's not on the list yet. I think out of 250 total in the history of the league, Jalen isn't shown up on the list yet. So it's like, okay, at least he's not taking all the threes. Mike, thanks for holding on. You're in WEEI. Thanks for the call.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, man.
I just want to say I completely agree with you about how Steph's kind of ruined this Celtics team. I was at the game tonight, and we were just chucking up a high volume of threes, and when we only have Robert Williams out there down low and the rest of the four guys are sitting on the outside of the three-point line, you're just not going to get bored chucking up threes.
Who's making them?
When you miss a shot, it's Robert Williams against four guys going for the rebounds, and that's just not going to work, especially when you have Grant Williams and Al Horford out. Even when they're on the court, they're usually sitting in the corner waiting for a three. We don't have the rebounders or the big men to get the rebounds down there for us to be taking such high volume shots.
What Freedom's not getting it done down there? I'm shocked.
Yeah, it's it needs to be fixed in the off season. Definitely to get a dominant big man.
Yeah, thanks, Mike, for the call. I appreciate it.
Thanks.
Stiz, hit my Enes the 3-Minute Man song. Let's go. Let's hit that.
Should we do it?
Shoot, let's do it right now.
This is, I must say, KJ, I've been waiting to play this all show. This is a good one. All right, here we go.
Take him out, and this really sucks. What's the point of a 3-minute man? Take him out, and this really sucks. What's the point of a 3-minute man? Take him out, Ennis really sucks. What's the point of a 3-minute man? Take him out. Ennis really sucks. What's the point of a 3-minute man?
Now Enes changed his name from Cantor to Freedom. Go to TD Garden, you barely see him. Take grandma back her slippers because she probably needs them. Enes couldn't start at the high school and need them. Talk and smack like everything's fine. Went to MA for some playing time. Still riding the pine. You got leaks in your D, call her plumber. 1 times 3, boy, that's your number.
Take him out. Ennis really sucks. What's the point of a 3-minute man? Take him out. Ennis really sucks. What's the point of a 3-minute man?
Take him out.
Ennis really sucks. What's the point of a 3-minute man? Take him out. Ennis really sucks. What's the point of a 3-minute man?
Hey, buddy, how you doing, man? Caesar's struggling this year, huh? Oh, I could care less. I hate the NBA, but I hate LeBron even more. And I love what Enes says on my TV programs. I watch him every night. I'm here for Enes. Well, look, Enes is about to get in the game. Enes is leaving the game.
Take him out. Ennis really sucks. What's the point of a 3-minute man? Take him out. Ennis really sucks. What's the point of a 3-minute man?
Take him out.
Ennis really sucks. What's the point of a 3-minute man? Take him out. Ennis really sucks. What's the point of a 3-minute man?
I mean, you're taking all these daggone threes. KJ Late Night here on WE. Did you like that, Stiz?
Gold, KJ.
Look, I did it on 10 tracks. I came up with it in the shower, turned it around in like 6 hours.
Gold.
Lyrics written by me. I'm impressed. I'm impressed with my own self, right? I'm just going to go ahead and look at my poop in the toilet for a second.
Sometimes you got to toot your own horn.
Sometimes you have to look before you actually get the tissue out. You have to. I mean, look, that's what Mike was just saying. They're shooting up all these shots, and you got Robert Williams down there 1-on-4 trying to rebound, and Enes in his 3 minutes. Oh, my gosh, there was a couple of plays tonight where Enes is the biggest guy under the basket by like 8 inches. It's like the Lilliputians came and smacked the ball out of his hand. He's just like, what? What happened? So slippers you have on, buddy? All right, Stiz, let's trend.
The exclusive home of Red Sox baseball. Now here's what's trending on WEEI.
Here is what's trending now on WEEI and WEEI.com. The Celtics